It's TA with MK. It's TA with MK. Gents and ladies, no time to waste. Don't be afraid, it's time to trade. Let's start your brains like high-speed trains. Storm these days like hurricanes. It's time to save this herd this days. Put on your case and learn the phrase. It's TA with MK. It's TA with MK. Hello there, welcome back to another daily episode or daily update on the crypto market on TA with MK. My name is MK and I hope you guys enjoy. Alrighty, let's dive into some charts. Now, I always want to start out with the Bitcoin daily. You'll probably notice that I'll start out with this chart every day. It's just because I want to continue to emphasize that until we lose the structure that we currently have, things are still bullish from a macro perspective. Once again, we put in a high back in April of last year. We put in a low that bottomed out, I believe in July, end of July of last year. We rallied back up and put in a new all-time high, so a higher high than the one in April. That was around Thanksgiving of this past year. And then right now, it looks like we're still trying to confirm a higher low. So this low being higher than this low. On a more zoomed in perspective, there we had this high in the wedge. This low, we broke and put in a slightly higher high. So now we're just trying to see if this zone of support holds for a higher low, because that might be the beginning of potentially, an uptrend. Now, our Bitcoin 1 hour chart is not looking super amazing, to be honest. Obviously, this Ukraine-Russia stuff going on and some of the other stuff around the world is having an effect on stocks, which Bitcoin's very highly correlated to now. But what I mean by it's not looking the greatest is we had this falling wedge, right? And it was able to break to the upside of that. However, I've been looking at, we had this high here, and this high is not even quite as high. So obviously this zone of resistance right now between like 39,250 and 39.5, a lot of sellers are stacked there. And then we had this low here, we had a lower low. Now, right now, we're trying to work on a higher low, but where we had the lower high, or a double top essentially, same price area where it got rejected, there's a very good chance that we could at least come back down and revisit this low here. That would be bullish if it could bounce there. That would be a double bottom, which often will lead to the beginning of an uptrend. However, there's a good chance we could also go a level lower, so we'll just keep you updated on that. Next up, we're just going to go over a couple of the charts that I posted the last couple of days to kind of see how we're doing. Now, again, I wouldn't enter anything at the moment, not financial advice, but I'm actually staying out of long positions at the moment. These are just ones I'm tracking with some alerts set. Glitch has a lot of news, as I've indicated. Structure-wise, I had this low back here, put in a high. This looks like it's a higher low down here. Hold on, paintbrush. Down here, it's inside of this falling wedge. It was able to bounce right off our aggressive entry. I did enter that, but I've already got out of the position just with a couple % gain because the market's looking a little dicey. So I just don't feel real confident being in any long positions. Now, if it revisits this level again and Bitcoin, happens to be bouncing or showing signs of a bounce at that time, I'll definitely re-enter this coin just because I think it's got good upside as long as Bitcoin will cooperate, which clearly it's not at the moment. Moving over to EOS, this is an 8-hour chart. Now EOS, I've indicated this long trend line, we'll even make it thicker so you can see it better, that it was acting as resistance once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, all along here. And it finally broke to the upside and retested here, retested again. But with Bitcoin rolling over yesterday, the last couple days, it lost that support. So yesterday's video, I mentioned that I was definitely not entering that coin. However, I was looking for it to potentially be put in a double bottom down here. It did break back above that trend line again, which, short term is positive. It's trying to retest it now. However, I'm not entering it just because, as I previously stated, Bitcoin looks like it's potentially going to roll over a little bit more. So we'll just keep an eye on it. Same thing as the last coin. If it comes down here, in fact, let me get rid of this stop loss thing because obviously that was from a previous discussion. But anyway, if it comes down here again to this level, I would definitely have an alert set down here, and I would potentially enter there. And I'll just keep you posted. And now we got the EGLD daily chart, or eGold. This is another one I've been tracking. It had this downtrend back here. It put in a low, broke out of the downtrend, and put in a higher low. Price structure just looks very similar right now. It had this low here, it broke out, and it's working on a higher low. I'm not in this coin at the moment, but what I'm actually tracking is if Bitcoin loses its current support, and decides to wick down and visit lower levels, this would probably lose my aggressive entry zone, which it's sitting at the top of right now. And if it does, what I'm looking for and what I have alerts set on is the top and the bottom of this strongest support buy zone I've indicated in green. What I'd be looking for is for this low to get confirmed again, or maybe even slightly higher. But if it enters this zone one more time, it would be easy for me at that point to enter the coin, as long as Bitcoin's looking somewhat stable or possibly even, you know, short-term bullish. And then it would be easy to put a stop loss just underneath here. So I'm not in it at the moment, but I will keep you updated. The two coins I mentioned yesterday, Mnet and Shill, I just want to let you guys know that I'm staying out of them for right now, especially Mnet. If you look at Mnet right here, yesterday I brought up that it had this low, and what I was looking for inside of this small falling wedge was for it to confirm another, you know, the same low, so a double bottom, possibly bounce, break this white trend line, you know, confirm this is support and head to the upside. Well, if you look right now, I'm not even zoomed in, but you can see that it's clearly starting to lose this wedge and putting in a lower low than this. So what that would most likely mean is that we're going to visit, you know, something down in this range. So it's definitely headed lower. I would stay out of that coin for right now. And then Shill, yesterday I mentioned, you know, it had a strong team behind it. It's a NFT / metaverse play. Same thing though. I mean, it's not looking as bearish as Mnet, but I don't see this double bottom holding, especially with Bitcoin looking like it's ready to roll over. I do have an alert set down here because this could end up being a bigger double bottom. So I'll keep you posted on that. And that brings me back over to the Bitcoin dominance chart. Now this is the one that I'm actually watching the closest, so I can get an idea of when I want to revisit these coins I'm tracking and potentially enter. So as I've explained many times on the channel, and you can look for my link in the description below on Bitcoin dominance, I do a very in-depth explanation on how it works. But in a nutshell, if Bitcoin dominance is going up, that's bad for altcoins, and if it's going down, that's good. So we've been tracking kind of this patterns that it just keeps repeating its big falling wedge. It broke to the upside, came up here, you know, that acted as resistance. Then it gave us some good alt relief as it was in this falling wedge, but broke to the upside. We had a pullback on the altcoins. We recently, just over the last day or two, had some decent alt relief as we were in another falling wedge. But right now, we're trying to break to the upside of that, so I'm kind of cautious at the moment. So we'll just keep an eye on what that does. But basically, if this is going to trend up, and let's just say it decides to do what it did back here, and it's going to head up and maybe retest this resistance, it is nice that it put in this high and that this was a lower high. So what we want to see is maybe it does trend up, retests this as resistance, which would then be another lower high. And then what we'd really be hoping for at that point, and it'd be good for alts. Now this move down would be good regardless, but if we could get this support level back here to break, then we could have another little mini altcoin season. So I'll just keep you guys updated on that. But right now it's in what I call my cautious zone, especially where it's looking like it wants to break to the upside of this falling wedge. So that tells me stay out of long positions. Now this next one I want to go over is just to introduce an idea to you that I'll go over in future videos. This will require KuCoin. This particular chart is a KuCoin chart, and the coin, if you were to trade it, is on KuCoin. I have a link in the description that you can use to download KuCoin. I also have videos you can watch on how to set up KuCoin and transfer funds to it so you can begin trading and so on and so forth. But I just want to introduce an idea to you so that in future videos it'll make sense when I cover these coins. But what this is XRP, but the reason it says 3S is it's a short token for XRP. Basically what that means is that you're entering this trade, or potentially would enter this trade, with the idea or hopes that XRP is actually going to go down. So I went ahead and changed this top zone to my red color, which means that currently it's acting as resistance, and the bottom one to green. I just wanted to show you briefly that price action came up, was rejected here at the top of this resistance zone. This bottom green one obviously was resistance here, 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 you know, and then it finally broke back above it here, went through my red zone, which obviously isn't nearly as strong as the green zone. But when it went and put in this high, it was in a falling wedge, and then right exactly at this now support level was previous resistance, once, twice, you know. Now it's bounced there as support, and it broke out of this wedge. So what I'm looking for now for potential entry on this coin would be if it comes down and either puts in a higher low at the bottom of this zone, or maybe comes down here and puts in a double bottom. So I will keep you posted on this coin. Higher risk, higher reward, so not financial advice, but I wouldn't necessarily trade it with me. Just wanted to introduce the idea. And that's all I have for today. This was TA with K. My name is McKay, and thanks for stopping by. Please leave me a like and subscribe if you're liking the content, and I will update you or see you tomorrow. It's